Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez of themoviewizard.com, and we are going to be doing an off-the-cuff video with no ads or anything because this is big and I kind of want to comment it right away. As you probably know, and if you've been watching my channel, there's been some controversy over Oscar So White because for the second year in a row, the Academy Awards, all the acting nominations were white actors, and there's definitely been some debate whether or not that's racism or whether or not that's just there were no people of color that were worthy of nominations. I personally think has more to do with the latter, but most people believe it's of the former. That's fine. That's not what we're really here to talk about today. But basically, if you want to get someone to change how they run things, you shout racism. And so the Academy Awards have basically announced that they are going to be doing a sweeping reform of, what's it called? Yeah, basically sweeping reform of how they do the membership. And I'm sorry for that beep on the phone. And I'm going to read the press release and comment on it and let you know what this means. And the name of the statement was Academy takes historic action to increase diversity. We'll see. In a unanimous vote Thursday night, 1-21, or 21-1, they kind of worded it funny, the Board of Governors of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences approved a sweeping series of substantive changes designed to make the Academy's membership, its governing bodies, and its voting members significantly more diverse. The board's goal is to commit to doubling the number of women and diverse members of the Academy by 2020. Okay, we're going to take a pause now. That's kind of an interesting statement because I don't think... Let me turn this phone off. I don't think that's actually as positive sounding as they probably think, because they say they are going to double the number of women and diverse members. However, apparently 96% of the members are white and 76 members of the members are men. So does that mean by 2020 they want... That doesn't really fix much of the problem, if that's indeed a problem in your eyes. As for the women, if you could double from 26% to 52%, well, that's a step in the right direction, but I mean, that's that's just interesting, like, that they use that word, because one of the issues is that there's not much diversity in the voters' ranks anyway, so what's the point of, if you double it, it's almost like saying you own 5 inches of a house and you plan to increase double ownership, you're going to have 10 inches of the house? I don't know, kind of weird. The Academy is going to lead and not wait for the industry to catch up. Doubt it. Said Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs. These new measures regarding governance and voting will have an immediate impact and begin the process of significantly changing our membership composition. Beginning later this year, each new member's voting status will last 10 years and will be renewed if that new member has been active in motion pictures during the decade. Okay. In addition, members will receive lifetime voting rights after 3 10-year terms, or if they have won or been nominated for the Academy Awards. So let's talk about this little section. Essentially, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because here's the thing. If you're I mean, this sounds like a good idea on paper, but most actors, voting members when they're young, they are going to work enough to meet the 3 10-year terms, which after you have 3 10-year terms, then you get lifetime status. Every voting member is pretty much going to match this. It's very unlikely there will be members that won't vote this. So essentially, this rule is supposed to give off the appearance that this lifetime membership, that this membership for life is going to go, that you have to hold some standards, but that's not the case because when you get invited to be a member when you're young, you work. And you will work long enough to hit the tenure, and then your voting ranks are still filled with a bunch of, 62-year-olds who can't recognize that The Dark Knight or Straight Outta Compton are great movies. So that this changes nothing. Moving on. At the same time, the Academy will supplement the traditional process in which current members sponsor new members by launching. Now, what's that mean? I guess that pretty much means that you don't have to be sponsored to become a member of the Academy, and they're going to find new ways to deem if you're worthy. Of course, what that process actually entails, who knows? Judging from what their goal is, I'm guessing if you're colored, whether it be black, Latino, or Asian, you've probably got a leg up on the competition because that's what this is all about. In order to immediately increase diversity on the Board of Governors, the Academy will establish 3 new governor seats that will be nominated by the President for 3-year terms and confirmed by the Board. Okay, the little side rant. You probably already know my position. And speaking as a Latino, believe it or not, I believe the best person deserves a job if they're the best person. I don't believe in quotas. I don't believe that you have to have a black person working for your company. I don't believe you have to have a disabled person working for your company. If you qualify for the job the most, that's where you should get it. That said, so what these new seats, they will be for colored people. There will probably be a black person, a Hispanic person, and an Asian person. That's probably what they will be. That they're being created specifically for the people to show that, hey, see, we're divorced. We've got a black guy on the board. So it's now, what are they going to actually do? Well, they're going to vote on new rules, but as we can see so far, whenever they change the rules, it's not like they really change anyway. The Academy will also take immediate action to increase diversity by... sorry. Lost my place. Okay. The Academy will also take immediate action to increase diversity by adding new members who are not governors to its executive and board committees where key decisions about membership and governance are made. This will allow new members an opportunity to become more active in Academy decision-making and help the organization identify and nurture future leaders. Okay. Along with Boone Isaacs, the board's membership and administration committee, chaired by Academy Governor Phil Robertson, led the efforts to enact these initiatives. Well, of course, they had to. The Oscars So White hashtag is now haunting, and you have actors, like A-list actors and directors, calling for boycotts of your awards. And, yeah, of course you were going to have to say something. But as we can see from all of this, effectively nothing changes except that they said they're going to have more members, which could help, it could not. But I will say there are 2 things they could have done, 2 big things that would have probably changed the dynamics of this almost completely and would have definitely contributed to a solution. The first thing they could have done, which they have not announced they're going to do, they could have gone back to 10 nominations. When you have 10 solid Best Picture nominations, it allows for more diverse films. The 2 years that they promised that they had to have 10 nominees provided some of the most diverse nominations ever. We got things like District 9 and Precious and on this, everyone has top 10 lists. I usually have a hard time whittling my list down to 10. They can pick 10 movies too. The other change they could make, which they didn't announce, is do away with the Peripheral Ballot. Now, the Peripheral Ballot, of course, is what contributes to the 5 to 10 nominations, and really, from what I understand, the stars have to be aligned super right for there to be like a full 10. And the thing is, with that, that's probably the main reason movies like Straight Outta Compton and Inside Out don't get nominated. Because I bet you there are voters who are voting on those movies. I really, truly do. However, you need 5% number of the votes to be number ones for your film to even be considered. That means, in theory, Straight Outta Compton could have been number 2 on every single ballot, and it would not be nominated even if it had more votes than all the other films, because they do this whole electoral college thing, which electoral college is good for states so that places like Rhode Island don't lose their voice in the election. These are movies. You don't need to do an electoral college system. Just have a popular vote. So the two things that would probably most likely get them out of this mess in the first place, they have not done. And it's just, it's amazing to see this Academy trip over themselves over and over again. Like, they really don't get it. Like, look, I just went through it, and by the way, I'll have a link to the statement below so you could read it in full. But when you really look at it and when you really analyze it, they have effectively said nothing is going to change. They're going to have more voters, but people who complain about how Academy members are voters for life and they don't know what good movies are in life, they're going to be members for life. I mean, this so sets it up that the only way you could not be a member for life is if you made one movie or one or two movies, let's say, in your career early in life and you decided you just weren't going to act anymore. Because active voting members, they can be extras, and that means are active, so they can still... So if they're just being extras for their whole lives and they got to be a member of the Academy early on somehow, guess what? They're going to be voters forever. And after they stop being an extra, they can still vote when they're 70 or 80. So that problem does not solve anything. Doubling the number of women and diverse members, okay, global, notable feat, but that's an odd thing to say because if you double the current member numbers, that's still going to make the vast majority of the voting members white still. So that doesn't change anything either. This is a fluff piece. The Academy is trying to head off controversy. They want to like pretend like they're going to actually do something. They're not going to do anything. This does nothing. I mean, the only thing they could have done that would have made things better is to go back to 10 nominees and get rid of the preferable ballot system, or the weighted ballot system, as some people call it. And they didn't do it, and they don't want to do it, and I don't know why they don't want to do it, but that's just the way it is. So, I'm sorry, folks. I mean, I know you and me, most of us disagree whether or not the Academy Awards are racist or not. I don't think they are. I just kind of believe that the only two movies that had people of color with performances that were worth nominating, the Academy was never going to vote for reasons that were beside the race, and I've explained that in another video that you can watch. But this is just a fact. Nothing's going to change. So if you feel the Academy Awards aren't representing you, or don't represent the world you live in, then you're just going to have to not watch them. If they really do... Sorry, folks, I'm hiccuping now. How should I put this? There's more than one award show. If the Academy Awards is making itself irrelevant, it will make itself irrelevant. But it's kind of interesting that that's what people claim they are, and yet they care so much about how the Academy votes and who they give their awards to. Well, they're not going to change. they're just not. So if you don't like their choices, watch another award shows. Watch the BET Awards, watch the Golden Globes, watch SAG, watch the Critics' Choice. There are plenty of award choices out there you can watch. I know the Oscars kind of like the most coveted, but if they keep up this way and people don't like it, maybe it won't be. Who knows? It'll be interesting, but the announcement today, bottom line, nothing's going to change. And I'm sorry that I know that's not going to make a lot of you happy, but that's just kind of how it is. So, all right, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez. I have got to comb this hair. If you like this video, share it with everyone. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.